This is the testimony of Michelle. Michelle was physically abused in childhood by both her mother and her stepfather. Her mother had multiple partners throughout Michelle's childhood, many of whom also abused her, some sexually. She believes this early experience created an association between abuse and love, particularly vulnerable. From the age of 13, she was groomed by three adult Pakistani brothers who supplied her with alcohol, cigarettes, and drugs. She was raped while intoxicated, including on one occasion when she was taken upstairs while her sister tried to intervene. Because of her upbringing, she thought this was normal, that they were her boyfriends and that they loved her. She would go missing for extended periods and was subjected to repeat daily sexual abuse. The perpetrators would collect her from school, her home, and public places, using threats of violence to coerce and control her. At age 14, she was gang raped and beaten by three men who had locked her in a house. She was left covered in cuts and bruises, which alerted a friend. The friend told her own mother, who then contacted Michelle's mother. The police were called, but they claimed there was little they could do without more evidence. One of the gang members later forced Michelle to go to the police station with them to retract her statement. The police accepted him as her appropriate adult, a role normally reserved for a parent, close family member, social worker, or trade professional. The investigation was subsequently dropped. One of Michelle's friends, who lived in a care home, would be collected directly outside by the same gang. Care staff would call the police, but officers reported referring to the girls as prostitutes, despite them being children. Both social services and the police, Michelle says, failed to understand the situation and believed the girls were engaged in the activity by choice. As a result, little was done to intervene. When she was abducted and went missing, no one came looking for her. A social worker once told her that at age 14, she would be allowed to live with her 30-year-old boyfriend as long as they did not share a room. Michelle was raped in bin sheds, threatened with a knife, and forced into sex with multiple men waiting in cars. She was drugged, beaten, burned with cigarettes, locked in rooms, and passed between men. An amusement arcade was used as a front for drug dealing and the sexual exploitation of children. She became pregnant 4 times as a child as a result of rape, leading to miscarriages, one abortion, and one surviving child. Of her abusers, she states 98% of them were Pakistani Muslim. If not, they were Iraqi Muslim or Kurdish. Michelle believes these gangs have remained untouchable because authorities fear being labeled racist. She describes an extensive network of abusers operating across the entire country, calling it industrial in scale. It functions as a large central network with smaller connected groups in specific localities. Michelle claims she was raped by between 600 and 700 different men over the course of 3 years. She now lives with severe PTSD and lifelong trauma, describing both her childhood and her future as destroyed. What would you say the main issue was? I don't think they cared much about us. They didn't want to open that can of worms because it's a religion thing. I'd probably say 98% of them were Pakistani Muslim. If not, they were Iraqi or Kurdish.